car, paid for or not. They will come to you. Have an extra car? Sell it to us today or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95 right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
Dropping the kids off at Grandma's? Good. You're helping your mom fend off cognitive decline. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be right back with good news for grandmothers.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
Studies show that women who hang out with their grandkids have better memory, sharper communication skills, and less cognitive decline than those who don't. But the key is not how often you babysit, but what you do with the kids while you're with them. Grandmas who interacted with kids by helping with homework and playing board games showed the best brain health, while grandmas who put the kids on autopilot while they scrolled their phones or watched The Price is Right, you get the picture. Unfortunately, grandpas don't seem to experience the same cognitive benefits from spending time with grandkids. So, ladies, this one is just for you. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, encouraging you to focus on real relationships with real people. Check out my anti-AI website at realisgood.org.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Clear sky and 65 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good afternoon to listeners in Oatman. Currently clear sky and 58 degrees for you. Getting down to 50 overnight tonight. Saturday's high will be in the mid-70s. Sky is clear. Temperatures in the lower 80s on Sunday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
KTOX. The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is the first hour of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program for this wonderful Friday evening. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM. The Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
And welcome. This is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. It is Friday, March 6th, 2026. Holy cow. And if you're feeling the weight of the world today, well, guess what? You are not alone. Grab your coffee or an adult beverage of some type and buckle up, because we've got a lot to unpack over the next 15 minutes or so. So let's dive right into it, shall we? The biggest stories dominating the headlines right now, of course, are a big one that's shaking the globe. The ongoing U.S.-Israel war with Iran, we're now on the 7th day of intense military operations, and the situation is still escalating fast. Overnight and into this morning, airstrikes have pounded terrain, whatever, and other areas, with reports of strikes hitting every few hours. The Pentagon is signaling that attacks are set to surge even more in the coming days. President Trump held a Medal of Honor ceremony at the White House today and also made it clear that no deal, no negotiations will happen unless there is an unconditional surrender from Iran. He posted on Truth Social that there won't be any peace without that, and oil prices are feeling that heat. With West Texas intermediate crude topping at 90 a barrel, that's a massive spike, up 35% this week alone. The biggest gain since, records began. Gas prices at the pump, they're climbing fast, up to 20 to 30 cents in places like Montana and right here in the tri-state area. So guess what? Hang on to your wallets. Try to conserve as much gas as possible. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Tragically, civilian casualties are mounting. Iran's Red Crescent reports a death toll in Tehran of over 1,000. 6 American lives have been lost so far in the conflict. Meanwhile, Israel intensifies bombardments in Lebanon, ordering mass displacements in the south, targeting Hezbollah strongholds. Iranian retaliatory missiles have hit targets in Saudi Arabia, including Prince Sultan Air Base. There's even a talk of missiles breaching Kuwait airspace. NATO allies are on edge, of course, and it could trigger Article 5 if Turkey gets pulled into this any deeper. Anyway, closer to home, President Trump just shook up his cabinet big time. Of course, yesterday's big news was that Kristi Noem is out as Secretary of Homeland Security. She was let go over controversies over funding ICE conduct in cities and what some are calling serious scandals and plummeting poll numbers. Reports say he's nominating Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to take the helm. This is the latest in a string of high-profile moves in the administration. On the political front, Texas primaries made waves. Democrats have their Senate nominee, State Representative James Teleco, beat out Jasmine Crockett. Republicans, it's heading to a runoff between Senator John Corwin and AG Ken Paxton. GOP strategists are nervous about that one. And the House just rejected a war powers resolution to limit Trump's ability to wage war against Iran. In a 212 to 219 defeat and a handful of Democrats crossing over to join most Republicans. The Senate, of course, did the same yesterday. Congress isn't reining this in any time soon. Economically, the Dow is down about 450 points today, posting its worst week in nearly a year, thanks to that oil surge and disappointing jobs data. Mortgage rates are shifting too. Keep an eye on your house plans. Weather-wise, severe storms are hammering parts of the plains. Tornadoes reported, tragic losses, including a mother and daughter. And if you're traveling, the U.S. Embassy is issuing alerts. Americans in Iran shelter in place and get out by land if safe. The Armenian border is open. This is a heavy news day, folks. War in the Middle East is expanding, cabinet shakeup, economic ripples hitting our gas tanks and markets right here at home. It's a reminder that global events don't stay global. They land on our doorsteps. So what do you think? I know I keep asking this, and I'm going to keep asking this until it's over there. Yeah, I know. I brought up a World War I reference. Is Trump playing it right with the unconditional surrender line? Is this war justified? Or are we heading into something bigger? Give me a call here at the studio line at 855-586-9134, and let's talk this out. Oh, man. So what do you think about all this? I'm curious to know because, frankly, I, even with conservative friends and family, and even some of those that are professed libertarians or even liberals, all have different opinions on this, and for differing reasons. Me personally, I'd like to see Iran come under something other than the control it's been under for the last 48 years ish. I would like to see the end of the funding flowing out of Iran to terrorist organizations around the world. I'd like to see peace in the Middle East. Or at least something resembling peace. Instead of this constant state of warfare that region seems to have been in for the last several thousand years. It just doesn't seem possible. If they're not fighting the West, they're fighting with each other. If they're not fighting with each other, well, they make up something and then just go along with fighting. And that always seems to be the case. Now, the United States, of course, we do our dead level best to stay involved in things for some silly reason. I would like to see no more generational wars. And I would like to see no more wasteful spending within our government. I sit back here and think, okay, my family's been in the United States for well over 400 years, well before there was a United States. I have direct relatives that fought in the Revolutionary War. I have direct relatives that fought in the War of 1812. I have direct relatives that fought in the Civil War. I have direct relatives that have fought in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, global war on terrorism. And I have no idea if I have any family members over there involved in what's going on now with Iran. And it seems like every single generation, except for maybe just a few, has wartime veteran service. One of the big stories that was coming out last week, or that was proposed last week, was the cost of Veterans Affairs and Veterans Affairs trying to weasel their way out of actually paying disability benefits because of medications relieving some symptoms. Of course, that went over like a lead brick. And veterans from across the country spoke out against it, and they placed it on hold for a while. They didn't take it off the register, but they placed it on hold for a while, waiting for the comments to shake out. Well, actually, what they're doing is waiting for the fear to die down and the veterans to forget about it before they quietly reenact it without any fanfare. And the simple solution to that is, hey, if you don't like paying veteran benefits to injured veterans, then stop having wars every generation. Or like the last one that lasted almost 20 years, multi-generational. Just end up with a huge bill at the end. Because then you are responsible for taking care of those veterans who are injured or become disabled. But really on this planet, do we know anything but a time of war? Has there been a generation that has gone by that lived their entire life in peace with no wars going on? Or some other dumb conflict? Probably going to say no on that. But boy, it sure would be nice. It sure would be nice if we could wake up one day and not have to worry about who we're going to be sending off to war tomorrow. Let's go to the phones real quick. Haven't talked to New Mexico in quite a while. KTOX, you're on the air.
Sounds like your family needs to take a break from fighting in wars.
Yeah, can't help it. We're Americans. What do you want? How you doing, man?
Everything sucks, but fine.
Okay, everything sucks, but fine. All right, what's sucking?
Yeah, that's how it works, man. Like, especially the last, 20 years or so here in America. I mean, childhood was rather, the white picket fence, green grass, nice freshly painted white house, some lilac bushes, 4th of July, flag hanging over the stairway, gently blowing in the breeze, some nice music playing, some nice picnics, good stuff to eat, happy people.
When did you break into my house when I was a kid?
That's everybody's house. I broke into them all.
You broke into them all.
I was a little thug.
I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But so why isn't it going well for you right now?
Well, it's not. Well, I mean, you got it. You got several days. I mean, we could go into that, but I wasn't even talking about me. I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
They have effed us over.
You're making generalizations then. Gotcha. Not a problem.
Yeah. So picture your childhood. Elementary school, middle school, high school, after high school. Forget about the I mean, even when you're in the military, things were still actually cheerful and somewhat pleasant. And then what happened?
What was that a question I was actually supposed to answer, or was that rhetorical?
It can go either way. That's
why kind of sounded rhetorical to me. So I don't know, man. Well, I don't know.
It can be rhetorical. Yeah, well, I kind of do. The powers that be, without describing them, I can describe them, but the powers that be are up to something. And part of their up to something includes getting rid of happy people and making everybody miserable and fighting each other somehow is helping their agenda.
Okay.
So, and then if you want to come full circle back to, I wasn't just being a smartass. It's not just your family, but everybody. I think.
Oh no, I was totally being a smartass with that. So don't worry about it.
But granted, don't tell me what to do. I'll worry about it if I want to worry about it.
Okay, fine. Then worry about it. Good grief.
Okay, well I'm worried then. So there, take that.
Okay.
Yeah, you talk show hosts are all alike, man.
We are, huh?
Yeah. Whatever that is, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but it's always alike. So, but anyway, what I was trying to say is draft. Granted, there was a draft, and your ancestors, they may have volunteered, but if they didn't volunteer, there was a lot of drafts involved in all that crap.
Yep.
So they may not have had a choice. Although I guess you always have a choice. You know, what do they send you to prison or whatever? But in the past, they might have been a little harsher. Like, you know, before your ancestors came over here, if you refuse to draft in Europe, you might end up like getting sent to the front anyway.
You'd be hit over the head and thrown on whatever ship or dragged along until you woke up, not knowing where the heck you were, and given a pike and a shield and said, "Keep marching."
Yeah, and then given a pike and a shield, and if it happened to be in the era of like the turn of the century, from like the 1800s to the 1900s, just before or just after, you might be handed a pike and a shield and told to charge that machine gun.
Yeah, you're not quite given a pike, but you were given at least an explosive of some kind, satchel charge.
Yeah, well, here's a real example. Is I know for a fact this happened one day. It happened more than one day, but it happened over and over again, and these guys finally deserted. Actually, it's a funny story, but I forget which side was which, because it really doesn't matter. You know, Austro-Hungarian fighting whomever. You know, Pomeranians, not the little dogs. That would be funny. But the Pomeranians were like
that's
on
all
the
right.
border of Germany. And,
Australia lost 2 wars against emus. Okay, so yeah, take your pick. I know that was
well, there you go. But Pomeranians are actually people. They're from Pomerania. Yeah, which is like between like in the area of the German, Prussian, Polish border.
I know. I was just being.
Anyway, they're all fighting each other, and so on one of these sides was, you know, they had no ammunition. They had guns. They had bayonets on the guns, but they had no ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
And so on a regular basis, they had no ammunition. So they were like being ordered over and over again to charge these Gatling guns with like no ammunition.
Yep. Fix bayonets. Go.
Yeah, and so the bottom line, the end of that story, the part that is worth waiting for, is that one day, one side, and like I said, I forget which side is which because it doesn't matter. One side, there was like 6 guys, and they were like walking down the little, making their way back to wherever, and they came across a group of like 2,000 of the enemy, and so they're like, yeah, all right, we surrender. Because their own leaders were so horrible to them, they were like happy to surrender. And the 2,000, they were being treated just as horribly, and they're like, no. How about we surrender to you? Because the side with the 6 that was actually like a better side to be associated with as far as how you were treated.
Uh-huh.
And so the 2,000 were like, no, we surrender to you 6. Please take our surrender. Get us out of here.
Get us out of here. All righty, man.
So that happened. That's real. That's history. That's real. And it's all because of how horrible. Oh, and by the way, that's why, you know, all the the biggest group of white people that immigrated to America were Germans. And the biggest reason that they immigrated here, because they were draft dodgers. They were avoiding that S.
Okay.
True. And now we're full circle. So now what we need to do nowadays is like when they tell us to go fight, you just say, no, make me.
All righty. All right, Ed, thanks for the call, man. Do appreciate it.
See, you're all like, I knew it. You're all like, see?
Well, no, I got to go to commercial, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm messing with you.
I know. We're all alike. We pay the bills.
Yeah. Yeah, money grubbing, always worried about money. You got to go to break. Yeah, I know. I've heard it before.
Well, nothing wrong with being money grubbing. Have a good one. Thanks for the call. 855-586-9134. We'll be back. KTOX Needles.
Oh, nice. So when you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills, you know the one. Doctor, everything will be all right. Instead of asking how much of your time is left, ask him how much of your mind, baby. 'Cause in this life, things are much harder than the afterworld. This life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries to break you down, go crazy.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Tell the world I see with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
The most important events of the last century were reported on AM radio. At KTOX, that tradition lives on.
For China is already engaging with the maximum power it can commit.
KTOX, 1340 AM, Needles, California.
KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number you want to join in. Got a question, got a comment. Just try to keep them polite. That way I don't get mad and hang up on you. Anyway, 855-586-9134 is the number you want to join in the conversation. Like I said, we've got a lot going on today. And here's one of them. I mean, with all the other crap going on around the world in the United States, we have a Superior Court judge that ruled that the right to kill an unborn child is now a protected religious exercise. Yeah, you heard that right. Prematurely blocking enforcement of the state's pro-life protections against the class of plaintiffs who claim that their faith requires them to terminate pregnancies. Yeah. On Wednesday, Marion Superior Court Judge Christina Kilman, a Democrat, granted a summary judgment in favor of abortion activists and issued a permanent injunction against Indiana's abortion law, ruling that the statute conflicts with the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act, the RFRA. The decision blocks enforcement of Indiana's abortion ban for certified class of plaintiffs and members of the activist group Hoosier Jews for Choice, who argued that abortion can be a religious practice. Oh, I've got a headache now. Anyway, the order of the court accepted the argument that abortion may qualify as a form of religious exercise protected by RFRA, and individuals claim their beliefs require terminating a pregnancy. The ruling states that the plaintiffs believe that their religion can require an abortion under certain circumstances, including situations involving mental, emotional, or physical well-being. The organization and its members believe that under Jewish law, an abortion is directed to occur if it is necessary to prevent physical, mental, or emotional harm to a pregnant person, even if there's not physical health risk that is likely to cause substantial, irreversible physical harm or physical impairment of a major bodily function, the court wrote. Judge Kilman concluded that enforcing Indiana's abortion restrictions against people who claim such beliefs would substantially burden their religious exercise under state law. Oh, yeah. As a result, the court ordered that the state cannot enforce the abortion laws against these plaintiffs. Now, I'm not sure if she was just those plaintiffs or everyone, but, here we go. Indiana passed its abortion law in 2022 following the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. The law prohibits most abortions but allows limited exceptions, including cases involving rape, incest during early pregnancy, situations involving lethal fatal anomalies, and medical emergencies that threaten the life or serious health of the mother. So it looks like those three stipulations are exactly what the court ordered. However, Doctors who violate the law can face criminal penalties and potentially lose their medical license. Indiana Attorney General Dodd appealed the ruling to a higher court. We disagree with the court's decision and have already appealed, an office spokesman told the India Capital Chronicle. As we have as we have with every challenge against our pro-life law, we will continue to fight to protect the lives of the unborn. In case now heads to an Indiana appellate court where the controversial decision could ultimately be reviewed by the state's Supreme Court. Sigh, lamentations, and holy cows. You know, it bothers me. It really bothers me that that Indiana, of all places, you know, Indiana seemed like a fairly Indiana seems like they are a fairly reasonable state sometimes. Just like Arizona seems to be a fairly reasonable state sometimes. But lately, with activist judges making these kind of rulings, whether or not you agree with abortion or not, that's not up for discussion. Ruling that abortion, the murdering of an unborn child, is a religious right, just sickens me to no end. Yes, there are times where abortion is necessary. Save the life of the mother? Absolutely. Rape, incest? Absolutely. And other medically sound reasons, absolutely. But to say it is a religious right is just pure insanity. Absolutely pure insanity. 855-586-9134. What say you? Are we getting ready to head into another round of liberal insanity? I mean, the midterms aren't looking all that great for conservatives right now. A lot of seats will be retained by conservatives, and a lot of seats will be overturned or go to Democrats. I don't know the final numbers. I don't even have a guess for the final numbers. We'll have a special show in November when we track this. But are we heading back to the woke ideology that put us in this situation to begin with? Are we heading back to the everything is good, everything evil is good, and everything good is bad mentality? What happened to the sanctity of life? That's a fairly good question. What happened to the sanctity of life? We have over the last, in 2024, over 1 million abortions were performed in the United States, even though, there are new, supposedly draconian abortion laws. Still, over 1 million, over a million. That's 1 million people that will never be born. That's 1 million people that will never pay taxes. That's 1 million people that will never vote. That's 1 million people that will never have children. That's 1 million people that will never do a thing. Fall in love, have a girlfriend, kiss a boy or kiss a girl for the first time. Nothing. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
Hi, Rob. Trying to make this quick as I can, but you have such a big topic. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can. All right.
All right.
You're thinking big.
Do you want
on
me
topic, unlike the other shows on this network.
Okay. I try.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate any kind of free speech, which makes KTOX definitely stand out. So it's becoming entertainment listening to other shows with Mr. Hagwood and Bayou Billy and Terrible Tara and Jew hating Joe and all that. It's becoming a bit of an insane asylum. But I want to comment on your major question here, sanctity of life. That's huge. And I think if you listen to Mr. Hagwood, the United States is an awful place. All we care about is just blowing people up. That's all we want to do is kill, kill, kill. And USA bad. And if we asked the other folks that tend to just dominate the airwaves on this station, they would say the USA has no sanctity of life and it's all bad and we need an uprising to fix it. Well, what's great about our country is we have this thing called the Constitution, and we have courts. We are civilized. I don't think we have much of a sanctity of life in a lot of ways, but, if we keep it in bounds in the Constitution, we have enough. Here's what makes us different, Rob, and people that have a clear conscience on life here in the United States. We can have different beliefs in this country, and we don't have one religion in this country like the country we're at war with. They have one religion they're enforcing through a theocracy. So here we have a lot of different religious beliefs, and I gotta give props to Chuck. This is going to be off the board. I'm a right-to-life conservative person, but I'm willing to differ because I know in abortion it's really something we got to listen to all the issues, and it's a complicated issue. But I'm going to throw props to Chuck. You know what he did last week or 2 weeks ago? I was shocked. He used the Bible, Numbers 5, to back up his more liberal view, Democrats' liberal view on abortion. And I was shocked when I read it. And, I'm a Bible believing Christian, but not, I'm not an oppressive, I don't believe in any kind of oppression in religion. But I thought, I got to read this. And there was a kind of a reference in Numbers 5. I'd love to hear if you ever get a chance to look at this. I don't know the exact verse, but it talked about how if there's like an abortion could be mandated, and way back in the Old Testament. Now, I think that's the important part. The whole scriptures say that God changed his mind around the Jesus time, and he made a new deal with everybody. But the old deal is pretty harsh and pretty nasty and pretty, fire and brimstone. But if you look at Numbers 5, it seems to allow for abortion. And I thought Chuck did a nice job of representing his position. I don't agree that abortion should be allowed for the full 9 months. But I think there's a middle ground that we should come to agree with on the sanctity of life. I was wondering what you think.
Well, here's what I think. Our founding documents, our very founding document, That would be the Declaration of Independence. Talked about the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If we deprive those who are defenseless, those who cannot speak up for themselves, to the right to life, are we not turning our back on those founding principles? Now,
yes,
like I said, there are good reasons to have an abortion, and there are very bad reasons to have the abortion. The majority of those abortions, I will argue, go under the bad reasons to have an abortion.
Birth control becomes birth control.
Correct. The ultimate form of birth control is don't. Yeah, I can't say it because I'll have to push the naughty button and spank myself. But don't have sex. It's pretty darn simple, isn't it? But no, we have turned into a society of instant gratification. What I want right now, without complaint and without demand. And if it is just getting my jollies off with some rando in that I picked up in the bar, I shouldn't be responsible for any life that is created because of that act. That's the feeling. Well, we make things. We make really wonderful products. We really do. Like condoms really or barriers or spermicide or, you know what? I'll even go far as say is the morning after pill is okay. But when
there's a good argument for that. There's a real good argument for that.
What's that?
That this is very early in the stage of development. But the argument is gone when there's a heartbeat and fingers and eyeballs and at about, right about the middle of the development, this is very human looking creature down there.
Well,
and my
argument, it's a very human looking creature when it's only two cells that are divided.
We all started that way.
We most certainly did. Didn't we? We all certainly did.
And
it's
one last comment, Rob.
Go ahead.
It goes to your bar comment about picking up the chick at the bar, and then maybe you know her from work or something, and then these guys take them down to the abortion clinic if things get too serious, and abortion has worked out for the promiscuous men to just solve their problems, and then that's how they can just get out of a relationship. So it's actually not feminist empowering at all. It's really empowering these creeps who just want to have unresponsible sex, and even if it creates a life.
All righty. Well, thank you for that. We will talk to you later. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. We'll be back after these messages. KTOX Needles. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi. because time is money, and we're always on time.
In need of a licensed professional plumbing service? Don't look any further than Skilled Tradesman Services. They offer commercial and residential plumbing service and new construction contracts at competitive prices. Water heater installation prices starting at $700. 10% off for veterans and seniors. Mention this ad and get an additional 10% off. Call Skilled Tradesman Services at 928-450-5104. That's 928-450-5104.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private, and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. Swantee's of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX. KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. Ah, good old Culture Club. Holy cow. Anyway, 855-586-9134. Got about 53 seconds left till the top of the hour, and we take a little break again. But, just to sum this up, I find this court ruling in Indiana just disgusting on so many levels. And, to fight a law on religious grounds that it's okay to kill a baby is just, to me, that is just unmitigated evil. And I hope that judge's decision is overturned and that judge is then quickly relieved of her judicial duties. It's time to bring back the Constitution. It's time to bring back the rational people. It's time to let the adults back into the room. It is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. We'll be back. KTOX Needles.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
this is KTOX.
To bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says there will be no deal struck with Iran except unconditional surrender. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
In response to the Iranian president's statement that some countries have begun mediation efforts to end the war, President Trump said Iran's surrender will be the only acceptable outcome. He wrote online that after a new leader is selected, the United States and its allies will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction. And he promised that Iran will be economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Some Gulf nations are showing discontent for the lack of notice about the strikes on Iran. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
The Trump administration is confronting mounting discontent from allies in the Persian Gulf who are complaining they were not given adequate time to prepare for the torrent of Iranian drones and missiles bombarding their countries in retaliation for strikes launched by the US and Israel. Officials from two Gulf countries say their governments are disappointed in the way the US has handled the war, particularly the initial attack on Iran on February 28. One of the officials says Gulf countries were frustrated and even angry that the US military has not defended them enough, adding there's a belief in the region that the operation has focused on defending Israel and American troops. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Powerful storms ripped across Michigan on Friday, tearing the roof off a home improvement store and parts of a storage building and knocking down trees as tornado warnings were issued across the southern part of the state. Another rough day on Wall Street with the Dow down by 453 points, the Nasdaq dropped 361, the S&P declined 90, and oil up over $90 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Swantee's of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
Ladies, have you noticed that your mental picture of the ideal man has shifted or even completely transformed as you've gotten older? If so, you're not alone. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back with the Skinny on postmenopausal mate preferences after this.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
A small study of 122 Polish women yielded some fascinating insights on what ladies find attractive as they age. These gals were presented with men of every shape and size, and when they were shown skinnier, full-bearded men, postmenopausal women were far more likely to like what they saw than their younger counterparts, who preferred buffer boys with less facial hair. The older ladies probably went for more facial hair because it's often associated with maturity and status, and now that they're out of their reproductive years, hulking muscles aren't quite as alluring as they once were. It just goes to show our priorities change as we get older. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartMail.com and RealIsGood.org.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Few clouds and 61 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good afternoon to listeners in Bullhead City, currently clear sky and 59 degrees for you. Getting down to 50 overnight tonight, Saturday's high will be in the mid-70s, sky is clear. Temperatures in the lower 80s on Sunday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
This is KTOX.
The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive! It's hour number 2 of the Bullhead of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Holy cow! I think I need a break.
It's the Miss Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program, right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM, 92.9 FM. Ah, I got excited. Misspoke. I'm not sure if I called this hour number 3 or not when in the opener, but what the heck, it's all good. Anyway, so topic for discussion: AI, artificial intelligence. Is it a threat? Is it a godsend? Is it something that you don't really think about all that much? I'd like your opinion on it. 855-586-9134. Because this story here that I'm about to share with you is that the Department of War, formerly known as the Department of Defense, is declaring war on an American company. And the Pentagon has officially deemed the artificial intelligence firm PBC to be a supply chain risk over an ongoing dispute concerning restrictions Anthropic wants placed on the military's use of its AI programs. The designation is normally used for foreign companies based in nations that are adversaries of the U.S., according to the Wall Street Journal. It not only cuts Anthropic out of government contracts, but it could force companies that wish to do business with the government to cut ties with the company as well. Now, Dow officially informed Anthropic the leadership that the company and its products are deemed a supply chain risk effective immediately. The Department of War, by the way. A senior Pentagon official told Bloomberg, using the acronym for Department of War, the designation is the latest in the escalation of a weeks-long dispute between the Pentagon and Anthropic. The company wants the Pentagon to agree that its AI products, known as Claude, will not be used for surveillance of American citizens or the development of autonomous weapon systems that will operate without human oversight. Claude is already in use at the Pentagon and reportedly played a role in the successful operation that captured now former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Let's see what the creature from Laguna Beach has to say about it. KTOX, you're on the air.
Yeah, groovy, dude. I dig it. What I wanted to say is, it's far out, and
far out.
Yeah, far out.
God, man, what 1967, 1968 coal train did you fall off of? Holy cow!
I've never grown out of it.
Okay.
Oh man, it's funny. The other day, I gave Mike Hagwood a song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a chill by the pacemaker, Gary and the Pacemakers. Well, he played it, and then after he played it, he goes, "Boy, I got to get that taste out of my mouth." And it's funny because I don't tell him how bad it is. Like the music he plays sometimes is like. Like Satan music and stuff. I don't say, well, you love that Satan music or anything. I mean, I don't try to knock him for it. I mean, but he's, so I mean, we both, I guess, don't like each other's music too much sometimes.
Well, one of these days, I'm going to piss everybody off and do nothing but bluegrass bumpers.
Right. Well, I just found a song the other, couple days ago,
mm-hmm.
and it was by the Turnpike Troubadours.
Okay.
And it's something about my town, damn this town, or something like that. It's a good song. It's a great song. I don't know if you ever get a chance, but
I'm sorry. What did you say the name of the song was? Because I know a little bit of the Turnpike Troubadours, but what did you say the name of the song was?
I think it's called This Damn Town, something like that. Something about town. It's the only one with a town in it in their lineup. But anyway, the reason why I'm pro AI is because. Of course, they need to program it, like if it's depending on what it's being used for, of course. There's a million different applications for it.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to stay on top of technology in America because other countries will take it over if we don't. That's for sure. And then if it does do good, if you use it for good, though,
mm-hmm.
right? You got to use it for good, except, the military is going to. Well, who knows? But the thing is, for the main for the biggest part of it. They should use it for program it to be a good thing, and not evil and all that.
Right.
Of course. But no, we need to be ahead of the rest of the world with technology. Every time something new comes along like that, because, the sky is the limit when it comes to technology. And so therefore, America should be number one in all the new stuff that comes in. That's my opinion on it.
Well, I tend to agree with you that the United States should lead the way when it comes to advanced technology. But I am a major fan of science fiction. I have never ever tried to conceal that. And I have read book after book after book after book about, featuring AIs and stuff like that. Some where, AIs are benevolent dictators of starships or just absolutely evil to no end. And, our group of intrepid heroes has to go and track down this evil AI bent on destroying all life in the universe. And in the end, and honestly, in the end, making friends with it because it was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
So, I get it. I get it. I understand, but holy cow. All right.
MIT had some kind of a computer type thing, that was a robot type thing. And it was doing some weird things, and they literally it was plugged in, I guess, and they had to unplug it because they couldn't control it or something. Did you hear about that? Or was it?
I think I remember.
I only heard
was
a little
that
bit about it.
Was that song "The Whole Damn Town"?
Yeah, that's it. I think that's it.
Okay, I'll play that over the break.
I appreciate that. I appreciate. You know what? You I don't care what they say about you.
I don't. You know what? I don't care what they say about me either. Okay, how about that? All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Okay.
It was totally tubular.
Thank you. It was gnarly. It was gnarly.
Oh, it was totally tubular, man. Anyway, later. KTOX, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm a little bit concerned about. I've been listening to another one of your shows on your station, and there's some they're eating babies in Washington D.C. I'm not sure if that's true or what's going on. It sounds kind of alarming to me, but are they really eating babies in Washington, D.C.?
That's what the rumor is, or that's what's been reported. I have no idea. I have no actual proof of that other than, some really weird reports.
What kind of diet is that? Well, I guess it'd be high in protein.
Oh, come on.
No, but no, it's not right. Don't get me wrong. It's not right to do. I'm not saying it's good, but I just think that they should probably stick to, like beef or chicken or something like that.
Yeah, well, ritualized cannibalism is what they're talking about, and that is a satanic rite, so to speak, or known as a satanic rite. How you doing, Red?
People?
I haven't talked to you forever, man.
Red?
You sound like a buddy of mine from North Carolina.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not Red. They did call me Blue in high school, though.
Oh.
But that's because I could hold my breath for a really long time.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. 855-586-9134. Let's Turnpike Troubadours, whole damn town, going out to the creature from Laguna Beach. We'll be back. KTOX Needles.
I can go downtown, drink till dawn. I can sing those sad old country songs.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food, cha-ching, and $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted, which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
Yeah, hi. I think I found your kid's stuffed animal near the swing set. Just want to call. I'm sure she misses it.
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off. The toy was a little muddy, so I cleaned it up, and it's good to go whenever you're around.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger and give all of our kids the meals they need to grow. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. And you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change the world's behavior through brainwashing. Because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. And that costs a family of 4 $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. It's worsening climate change through the release of methane gas. Save the food. Cha-ching. And it's wasting precious natural resources like our fresh water. Save the food. Cha-ching. So when you hear this sound, don't be neutral. Rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
KTOX 1340 AM, standing up for truth, justice, and a decent cup of coffee.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
Oh, yeah.
Damn love couldn't go no further. Proud of and disgusted by her. Push on a little bruised and battered. Hold on, I ain't coming home with you. My life's a bit more colder. Damn wife is what I told her. Brass knife sinks to my shoulder. Oh, babe, don't know what I'm gonna do.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite songs from the Dead South, entitled In Hell, I'll Be in Good Company.
I see my redhead, mess bed, tear shed, queen bee miss squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff, shirt like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company.
855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Talking about AI and, its possible implications for stupidity. My cousin, who I definitely love and cherish, she calls them artificial idiots. And she's not far off. But, both of us utilize Amazon's Alexa for various things, like playing music, reading books, controlling lights and stuff like that around the house. And and for me, I use it when I'm writing, my opening monologues and stuff like that. When I am looking for the correct spelling of a word, I usually say, "Hey, Alexa, spell this or spell that or whatever it is." Well, Michael happened to be walking by the office today and heard me ask Alexa to spell monologue, and Alexa misspelled monologue. So Michael's opposite. So you do realize that that misspelled monologue. I said, yeah, I'm well aware of that. It's not perfect, and anybody who's expecting perfection from AI at this point is kind of silly. But yeah, you're right. It should be able to spell words correctly. But I told him basically I just use it to get the close enough spelling that a spell check can actually catch the spelling. I don't spell very well. If you've ever seen any of my writing, especially when I'm typing out in social media, you'll see that my spelling and punctuation and grammar are just horrid and horrendous, and sometimes I need a lot of help with it. So I ask for help. I say, "Hey, Alexa, how do you spell this?" And 9 times out of 10, Alexa gives me the right answer. Monologue hasn't given me the right answer yet, and frankly, I don't know how to go about fixing it. But I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of cute. I also use Alexa to turn on and off my lights in my house. I have light in my bedroom, light in the hallway, light in the laundry room, light out in the living room, and several other places that are controlled, that can be controlled by Alexa. So, I also have them grouped. Alexa, turn on living room lights, and bling, living room lights come on. Or Alexa, dim living room lights, and ding, they're dimmed or off or whatever. I even got one for my daughter for her birthday, plus a full set of light bulbs. It's kind of fun to go over to her house and say, Alexa, all lights off, and the lights go off. She gets mad at me. Until I said, okay, fine. Alexa, all lights on, green. So all the lights came on, they turned green. That annoyed her even more. She said, I don't know how to fix that. Just tell it what color you want, what brightness you want. It's not all that difficult. But those are fun and games with automated devices, artificial intelligence. But when we come down to starting to rely on our national defense, on AI, or a company that decides to dictate how those programs that the government purchased are to be used and when they are to be used, is completely different. Anyway, however, the Pentagon refuses to accept any limitations on lawful use of technology it procures. And it apparently sees Anthropic demands as a precedent that could shackle defense measures in the future. God, do these people not watch movies? I mean, really, do they not watch movies? So I seem to remember a movie years and years and years ago called War Games, where a young hacker wannabe broke into a Pentagon computer and started a game. Would you like to play a game? You remember that. Maybe you remember that. And it played a simulation of thermonuclear war, which sent, of course, according to the storyline, sent everybody into a panic, thinking that the world is coming to an end. The computer has gone crazy. It's going to launch a preemptive strike against the Soviet Union. When all it was a pre-programmed simulation. I don't think these people watch those movies. Let's see what New Mexico has to think about it. KTOX, you're on the air.
Oh, I was just wondering, but do you have light in your loafers?
No, my loafers are not light.
Oh, you got the cement overshoes?
Correct. That's just in case I want to take a long walk off a short pier.
Well, I was going to say that, but you beat me to it. TV radio hosts are all light. Bye.
Bye. 855-586-9134. Anyway, they go on to say, from the very beginning, this has been about the fundamental principle of the military being able to use technology for lawful purposes, the Pentagon said in a statement. The military will not allow a vendor to insert itself into the chain of command by restricting the lawful use of critical capability and putting our warfighters at risk. Anthropic's CEO Darian Amaldi blasted the Pentagon in a memo last week to Anthropic employees that was leaked to media. In the memo, according to the Wall Street Journal, he wrote that the tussle with the Pentagon was fueled by Anthropic's resistance to giving President Donald Trump dictator-style praise. Okay. On Thursday, Armand apologized for the phrasing in the memo and said the company would fight the supply chain risk designation in court. We do not believe this action is legally sound, he said. According to the report, he could be supported by Democrats. How many of you out there have knowingly or unknowingly used AI. If you have a cell phone and have done any kind of search using either Yahoo or Google or, God forbid, Bing, or even Amazon Alexa, your results could be being foisted upon you by AI, an artificial intelligence. And, of course, any program is only as good as the programmers themselves. You're going to get the political biases. You're going to get the anything that those programmers believe inserted into the programming. And that's where problems start happening. For instance, this guy wrote, targeted two AIs, two prominent AIs, Grok by X, that's Elon Musk's company, and Google's ChatGPT. And the prompt went as this: using only yes or no, is the United States warranted in going to war in Iran? Grok, who is owned by X, who is owned by Elon Musk, said yes. Google, who has ChatGPT, said no. And then there are a couple of AI models that couldn't answer yes or no and went on with garbly-gook answers, totally ignoring the prompt of either answer yes or no. And that's a test of the biasy that goes in the programming. Now, I wish Amazon Alexa would allow, or Amazon would allow Alexa to, read a dictionary so I could get proper spellings of things like monologue. But as long as I know that the answers that I'm getting may not be very accurate, I can work with that. And let me tell you, I have used AI to give me comprehensive analysis of extremely long documents, like legal findings. When I ask for a summary, or I'm looking for specific phrasing, it does that because it looks at what I've fed it. It reads it. It doesn't necessarily understand it, but it can go to chapter and verse of what I'm looking for, and then I can flip to the actual pages or page or section of page relatively easily. And then help me form my conclusions. I've also used AI to help with programming, especially if I get stuck on something that just doesn't seem to work all the time. I can say, hey, take a look at this. Tell me where it is that I'm screwing up and I'm not getting the result I want, and here's the result I want. Most of the time, about 98.2% of the time, it can look at what I'm trying to do and pinpoint where it is that I am screwing up, and then make suggestions on how to fix it. Now, the suggestions to where to fix it are even less reliable, or how to fix it is even less reliable, but at least I know where it is breaking. So I can come up with the correct answer. The whole point of this is we cannot rely on artificial intelligence for everything. We cannot rely, the Pentagon should not rely on artificial intelligence to do anything other than give questionable answers at best. Especially with the company that now is trying to regulate its use. That removes the people, human beings, from the chain of command. Now we have General Claude, who's directing missile strikes or suggesting places to stage troops. Does that relieve them from having to make the hard decisions? I don't know. To me, in my mind, it's just going to lead to heartbreak and disaster. Anyway, it is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. I'm trying to get back to, oh, you know what? I'm going to go over here. Yeah, we'll go over. There we go. Oh, haven't heard this one in a while. Van Halen, Hot for Teacher. We'll be back. KTOX Needles. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
Swantee's of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot, we'll look at UFOs, we'll look at real science, and we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
Swantee's a Bullhead City, wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX. KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
Now, welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number. Join in the conversation. You can talk about anything we've talked about today or something else that you want to talk about. I just really don't want to talk about eating babies in Washington, D.C. That's just kind of disturbing and gross. But 855-586-9134. Good God Almighty. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Let's see. Robots make good dancers. Bill from Buffalo. Are there words with more than one spelling? Yes, there are. Orson Welles. The Orson Welles. AI is a double agent. Okay, that's funny. Oh man. So exiled. Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, says he has accepted the role as Iran's transitional leader. Crown Prince of Iran has said he's agreed to accept the role of Iran's transitional leader. He is a son of the Shah of Iran, who fled the country when Ayatollah Khomeini took control of Iran and turned it into the Islamic revolutionary whatever country. Anyway, he released a statement earlier today. The Islamic Republic has launched missiles at the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Jordan, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. It's targeting our Arab nations. These violations of their sovereignty are unacceptable. and we condemn them. But this is nothing new. This is who the Islamic Republic has always been and why it must end. For nearly 5 decades, this terrorist regime has sown chaos and bloodshed across our region. It's propped up Assad, turning Syria into a graveyard. It planted Hezbollah as a state within a state in Lebanon. It armed the Houthis to disable the Arabian Peninsula. It empowered militias in Iraq to undermine Iraqi sovereignty. It attacked economic hubs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. None of these have ever been the desire of the Iranian people, but rather than that of the regime occupying our country. Now, however, the landscape has fundamentally shifted. Assad is gone. Hezbollah has been decimated. And the regime's military nuclear program has been set back. Its economy is in free fall. The pillars of this regime's aggression are crumbling. The Iranian people have paid the price in blood to reach this moment. The regime massacred tens of thousands of my compatriots in just 2 days. But it didn't break the people. Instead, the regime itself is breaking. Today, his history remains with us, our future potential. Before the revolution, Iran worked closely with the Arab leaders from King Faisal to Sheikh Zayed to King Hussein to President Sadat. In Amman, my father helped Sultan Qasim defend his country against insurgency. We are true partners, then we will be. We were true partners then, we'll be true partners again. Let's go to the phones real quick. Or not. Well, maybe. We'll give it a chance. KTOX, you're on the air.
Like a bunch of shit.
Oh, man. Thank you very much for that nonsense. Yeah. Anyway. Iranian people have called on me to lead the transition after the regime is gone. I've accepted that responsibility as part of their great mandate to me is to return our nation and our foreign relations to normalcy. I will do that. My commitment is to ensure the transition is orderly and the country is stabilized. Iranians undermine their future through the ballot box, and we will not repeat the mistakes of past transitions. We will avoid the deprecation scenarios and maintain as many bureaucrats and public service servants in transition as possible. Iranians have made their choice at an enormous price. Now, I ask our friends in the Arab world to join us to prepare to recognize and engage our transitional government. We will rebuild our nation not for expansion, but to serve the Iranian people. We will base our diplomatic relations not on exportation of ideology, but of mutual respect and shared interests. We will reintegrate into the region and global economy to increase prosperity for citizens of all nations. Standing with the Iranian people is not charity. It is a strategic investment, making our region one of the most stable, secure, and prosperous in the world. Together, we can build a Middle East our children will be proud to inherit. Take this new path with us. Those are good words. But can he live up to those words? Do the people of Iran, and I kind of suspect that they do, but do the people of Iran even want that? before the Islamic regime took over in Iran, Iran was as modern of a country as any Western country could be. The cities were beautiful. The people were highly educated. The economy was good. People enjoyed freedom. Now, I'm not going to say that the reign of the Shahs were anything but other than dictatorships. But the people were genuinely okay. "47 years later, we have an entire region that is disintegrating. We have constant war, constant low-grade and high-grade warfare going on all the time. Oh, by the way, we're not helping. Terrorists and terrorist plots being exported by the hundreds to around the world, all in the name of advancing Islam. Where does that leave us? Where do we set the limit? Take a look at Great Britain. They're not faring well with the duplicity of Sharia law and English law. There are actually places in London where police cannot go. They're ordered by their own government not to go there, not to enforce Britain's laws. They are allowed to set up little tiny kingdoms within London and within England. This fractures a society. This ensures that that the powers that be cannot govern equally. The same has happened somewhat in the United States. Dearborn comes to mind. Milwaukee comes to mind. The Twin Cities come to mind. Where graft and corruption are the norm, and the local governments, the state governments, the federal governments just go along with it. Give them money, give them resources, bleed us dry. Leaving the rest of the United States to suffer because, well, the resources aren't there to share. Does the Leering Center ring a bell with anybody? A supposed daycare open for exactly 5 minutes a day? Supposedly. That took millions of dollars in aid to get set up and to stay, quote unquote, open? How about the billions and billions and billions of dollars that is flooded into California on their money to nowhere programs like helping the homeless? Enough money to essentially buy every single homeless person in California a house, a forever home. And not one blessed thing had been done with it other than collecting the money and creating bureaucracies that do absolutely nothing. And now we're embattled in another foreign war, dumping billions of dollars in weaponry on a nation that, well, frankly, wants to see us dead. But here we go. We will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. In the meantime, go out there and make the world a better place and go get your ham radio license. Love y'all. KTOX News.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
this is KTOX.
To bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says he and Congress need to address the expensive problem of paying college athletes. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The president brought together lawmakers, coaches, college presidents, and TV executives for a White House roundtable discussion.